The other thing about summer sock camp is that there's always a theme. And sometimes it's like really like campy, like outdoors, like summer camp kind of thing. Okay. Well, this year it's 80s and 90s themed. Okay. So basically for Klaus, he...
The saddest dog.
The saddest dog. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you guys can hear him or not, but he is just whining. Basically what it comes down to is like for a lot of, I'll just say YouTube knitters, it's a lot of like, yay, childhood stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Certainly there are people who knit who were not alive then. Certainly there are people who knit who were definitely alive then, and they're like, yeah, I don't need to think about the 80s again. But for, I will say, a good chunk of the YouTube yarn community, it's childhood. Somewhat nostalgic, yes. Which made me go into the nostalgia drawer and pull out this that I have.
I can't believe this.
Which is Rainbow Braid hoodie that my sister got me in 2002 from Hot Topic. And I'm not going to put it on because it's the end of May. Right. But this will feature heavily in a lot of photos this summer.
Nice.
Because, of course it will.
Yeah.
Obviously. So yeah, this is my vintage shirt because it is more than 20 years old, because I think that's the cutoff for things to be vintage. This sweatshirt is more than 20 years old.
2002 was 2020 years ago.
Oh my years ago.
Goodness. Time.
Being vintage, like doing a callback to the first time we were doing a callback to the 80s. So that does raise the question of why we won't let Klaus come do the podcast with us. Obviously, that's what he wants to know.
It's because we are mean.
It's because we are mean.
Yes.
Yeah, we're terrible people. Sorry, buddy. But what... I guess we'll go this way. What's your favorite 80s or 90s show or movie? And obviously, the correct answer on one hand is Futurama. Because it's Futurama.
It is only barely.
That's the other hand. That's the other hand. Because the pilot premiered December 31st, 1999. Because it was... Yes, it did. Did it? Yes. Matt watched it. Matt is my husband.
I thought it was like in the summer ahead of time.
No. It was December 31st, 1999. That's the very first episode of Futurama. I will verify that. But according to my husband... That is true. Now, my husband could be wrong. Sometimes he is. We'll find out, and I will have a thing if that is in fact wrong. But so technically, it
is from the 90s.
Futurama is from the 90s. Now, actually, no, it's not.
No.
But so then, what are our other 80s and 90s shows and or movies?
Oh man.
Yeah. We did not inform everyone that this was going to be a quiz day.
Oh boy. I'm not good at picking favorites anyway, but
okay,
so just things I like.
Things you like. It doesn't have to be a single favorite, but just generally shows that I liked. Because when I think of the 90s, even though it was 10 whole years, what I go to in my brain is dating myself here, but 4th grade and Pogs.
Oh, Pogs.
And for whatever reason, all of my friends were really into purple and green. And like our whole group, we all liked purple and green. Mm-hmm. Not related to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, not related to Donatello. However, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was a solid 90s show.
And one of the themes I was going to bring up.
Yes. So like that's what I think of when I think of the 90s is 4th grade.
Okay. So
that's not a TV show, but you know.
No. So Rainbow Bright was like a huge win for me in the mid 80s, for sure. Ninja Turtles were legend.
Yes.
You can't beat like that original movie or even The Secret of the Ooze. Like,
yeah.
And yeah, all of that.
So I'm going to say a thing that, based on every prior conversation we've had, should not be surprising to you, but you might laugh. So my favorite Ninja Turtle was Raphael.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you?
Why was Raphael your favorite?
I don't know.
Really?
I don't know, but I like Raphael.
Okay.
That was my favorite, yeah.
I liked Donatello because I liked purple.
Sure.
And we just had the good vibe.
Just had the good vibe. Yeah, I just liked Raphael. And I feel like, again, with our previous conversations about the dude from Jane Eyre, Rochester.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And, like, other fictional characters, it's just kind of a consistent through line of that kind of attitude.
Okay.
You know?
Yep.
So
Okay.
even when I was little and my brother was watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, yeah, Raphael. There you go. That's
the one.
That's the one, man.
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters, sure.
Ghostbusters is huge. As soon as I said Secret of the Ooze, referring to Ninja Turtles, I thought about
Slimer.
Yes. And the whole all of Ghostbusters 2 with Vigo the Carpathian and all of that.
Yeah.
Like
in the bathtub.
No, he was it a bathtub? He's in the museum.
He's in the museum, but then there's the pink slime that comes
came from,
up.
Like, the sewer.
It came from the sewer, but it comes up and out into the bathtub.
Well, this is a good reason to rewatch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was huge. I didn't really get into Star Wars until later.
Sure.
But they are an 80s, 90s type fixture.
I thought the first one came out in the 70s.
It did.
Okay.
90s or 77.
Okay.
But
I mean, then there's the rest of them.
Right. And they,
also still existed.
Yes.
You know.
And they blossom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh. Okay. What else?
Some things that I have written down.
Oh, no, I meant like more 80s, 90s things.
Yeah. I have a list because I prepared this because it's my idea, and so I got time to prepare. So
Animaniacs.
Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain. Yes. But also The Never-Ending Story.
Never seen it.
Oh my gosh, you haven't? That's right. We talked about this before.
I'm gonna get thrown off the couch, but I've never seen it. I've never seen it.
I mean, I've seen it like twice.
There's like a sad horse part.
There is a sad horse part. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't super love like the sad animal movies, like the ones where like the dog dies. No, thank you. So
that's the thing.
Yeah. So I don't know.
So stay tuned for the Never-Ending Story episode. That's definitely going to be a thing.
Apparently.
My actual favorite movie from this time period would have to be The Last Unicorn, because the fantasy, and that is where I live. And then Rankin Bass. Yes. Flight of the Dragons, also another good one. Based on the lack of reaction, I'm guessing that Stephanie hasn't seen these either.
Hasn't even heard of them.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so after we're done recording this, we're going to go watch The Last Unicorn.
Okay.
Because that is a DVD that I accidentally bought twice.
I think I've heard of it.
Oh my gosh. Yes. It's also a book that exists. Obviously, The Princess Bride.
Yes.
Obviously. There's that.
Which we have seen, yes.
Yeah, we've seen that one.
Yes.
But definitely, The Last Unicorn. I feel that could be wrong, but I feel like Indiana Jones was also an 80s and 90s type of time.
Was. Yes.
Then we've got The Labyrinth, which I've seen once and don't remember much of, other than really most of my memories are coming from Community references to The Labyrinth.
So I've never seen The Labyrinth, but I had a whole scene memorized based on how many times it was repeated by some friends of mine. And
it is definitely a thing that happened.
Yes.
Yeah.
With some hair choices.
And Muppets and David Bowie.
So I love the Muppets.
They're not the Muppets. Right. They are just Muppets. Kind of like Dark Crystal was Muppets, but it's not Kermit.
Right.
You know?
So, like, yeah.
You know the Dark Crystal, right?
I do.
Okay, good.
I'm a Kermit type.
Yeah,
person.
no, these aren't Kermit Muppets. Yeah. They're no recognizable Muppets.
That's okay.
Although, as we're talking about Muppets, Fraggle Rock, that was a show.
Mm-hmm.
It was a show.
They were singing.
That definitely happened.
Yes.
And
that one was cool.
Yeah. Eureka's Castle was also very similar and had like puppets.
Heard of that.
I liked Eureka's Castle.
Okay.
It basically was, I'm going to go ahead and say a fantasy version of Sesame Street, because it was like that kind of variety show where there's like all these little vignettes of like, well, here's somebody learning the letter J, and now we're going to
count to 20,
and those kinds of things, except, you know, it was fantasy because it's Eureka's Castle and whatever. And then we have like the Disney shows, which is, we have a lot of these because my husband got them because they were the shows he liked, being DuckTales and Tailspin. I also liked Gummy Bears.
I like Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duck was good. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Excellent. Yeah. And then we have, you know, the real shows, being not cartoons, of like X-Files, Buffy, and then the last one on my list is Bill Nye. So that's what I have on my list of 80s and 90s shows and movies.
Wow.
Yeah. And now, to be fair, it was a very easy list for me to get because I went through the Geek Along list of blocks that already exist and wrote down the ones that were 80s or 90s that worked. You know, it's like, hey, I don't know that there's, well, maybe there is a Bill Nye. I don't know. Some of them I also just like added to. But yeah, like, they all have blocks.
I have the Fraggle Rock song in my head now.
The Fraggle Rock song in your head. Fraggle Rock is not on Geek Along. There's no Geek Along block for Fraggle Rock, but I mean,
well, I can't be responsible for their choices, so
maybe we take. I think there's a Muppet one, and I want to say it's Bunsen and Beaker, and so we take the Beaker one and give him more hair.
Okay.
Then it's Fraggle Rock.
Okay. Fraggle Bill Nye.
No, Bill Nye I think is because the Geek Along blanket, she also has like all these patterns of like, here's a molecule, and here's math, and here's a Punnett square,
right,
or a Punnett square. Okay, there you go. Everyone I talk to says it differently, and I don't teach biology, so I don't care. But you know, so she does have just like, here's a cool block, and so I think the Bill Nye is kind of leaning in that direction.
Gotcha. Okay.
But there you go. Yeah. So yeah. Gremlins, yes, definitely. What was his name? Gizmo? Was that his name?
Maybe.
Because they're the actual creatures are the Mogwai, right?
Right. But this guy had.
But that particular one is Gizmo.
I think it was Gizmo.
I want to say it was Gizmo. And then you have like, I think that's when a lot of the Mel Brooks movies came out too. So, you know, you've got The Young Frankenstein, Robin Hood Men in Tights, Blazing Saddles. I don't think the producers was later. Or at least the movie was.
Yeah, because that was like the Nathan Lee and Matthew Broderick.
Yes.
Yeah, that was there.
Yeah. There you go. So those are some shows that might make appearances throughout the summer.
Yeah.
We might do other things too.
There's another movie that my husband introduced me to that I really liked, but I mean I watched as an adult, so
sure.
It's called The Last Starfighter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That show creeped me out.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I definitely remember it, and like the kid,
he was like playing a video game
and like ended up on like the spaceship.
Yeah, because he was like really good at it, and they're like, "Wow, you're really good at this. Come save us." Something like that.
There's another one where like, there's this family of children, and they, like, are orphans or something, and they all band together to travel across the country to get the youngest into the video game competition, and they spend some time living in a dinosaur that's like, it's like a fiberglass dinosaur. I'm not actually on drugs right now.
Live action movie?
Yeah, it's a live action movie.
We'll have to ask my husband.
And I think they were playing Super Mario Brothers.
Of course they were.
And like with the glove?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
We'll check in with your husband because he does know every movie based on the most ridiculous descriptions.
And I could literally like call him right now and be like, listen, I need you to do this.
Video game competition. The kid's living in a fiberglass dinosaur. I want to say it's in New Mexico.
It sounds like
it's somewhere in the it's somewhere in the Southwest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's also a movie that
I
happened.
cannot wait to make this phone call.
And I really think that it was Super Mario Brothers, or it was something. I mean, there were not that many video games then. So it was like Super Mario Brothers or Bomberman. I don't think there would have been a movie about Bomberman, but you know, you never know.
Maybe Mega Man.
Maybe Mega Man. Yeah, I don't know.
Pac-Man.
Maybe it wasn't a family of kids. I don't know. But definitely living in the dinosaur.
It was a ragtag group of people.
It was a
Wow.
Tyrannosaurus Rex. No,
okay?
I'm not.
Okay.
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yep.
And they lived in the fiberglass Tyrannosaurus Rex, or at least he hid there.
Like, did they spend the night there on the way to the competition?
Maybe, yeah.
Now we have to find this thing.
We do have to find this thing. We'll let you know what it's called.
Yeah.
If you know what it's called, by all means, put it in
Please
the comments.
let us know.
But yeah.
Hey, honey.
Dad?
You're on the podcast right now. So, we were trying to come up with this movie that Rebecca remembers seeing, and it's like maybe a family group, or like maybe just like a ragtag group of kids trying to
or maybe just one kid.
Or maybe just one kid. They're trying to get across the country so the kid can be in a video game competition. And
the wizard?
The what?
The wizard?
Yes.
Oh my God! See.
With Fred Savage and Jenny Lewis, yeah.
And did he live in a dinosaur? They were inside a dinosaur at some part.
Were they inside a dinosaur at some point?
Yes.
Ha!
Yay! I'm not crazy.
Well, maybe. Anyway, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I knew you would know. Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, bye.
It certainly was a movie.
Hmm.
There were a lot of movies about video games.
Well, they were the cool thing.
They were the cool thing. That's true.
I remember going over to my friend's house to play Nintendo because, well, we're not going to buy one of those, but, you know, you can. Go to your friend's house and play it. Okay.
All right.
I will.
I will
played
do that.
Zelda.
Whoa.
I remember Zelda.
I remember, and this might not be so much 80s and 90s as much as I grew up in a really, really small town. I remember going and renting video games from the grocery store.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the thing.
Was
You could, rent them at, Blockbuster.
Well, because, we didn't have a Blockbuster.
Right.
We just had the ones that you could get at the grocery store. And my mom would get so mad because my dad would let my brother rent the Simpsons video game. And she did not think Simpsons was appropriate for us, which she wasn't wrong.
Right. Yeah. I remember we owned Super Mario and Super Mario 3, but we had to rent Super Mario 2 so we could play the princess and play in the
Sure. I liked Duck Hunt.
Yeah, Duck Hunt was good.
I liked Duck Hunt. I was good at Duck
Solid.
Hunt. I didn't really care about Super Mario Brothers or Mario Brothers or whatever it was. I liked Duck Hunt. I liked the dog, and I would get. At a certain point in my life, I became amused when the dog would laugh at you when you missed all the birds. When I was younger, yes, exactly.
Yes.
When I was younger, I was deeply hurt by this.
Oh.
Because having a brother who's, 3 years older, I got to just, have all the things because my brother had already gone through the we're not going to get one of those type of thing. But then by the time I was old enough, we had those.
We were getting those.
Yeah. That's what you get when you're the baby. My sister being older than my brother, my sister who got me the Rainbow Bright shirt. So, yep.
Wow.
Yeah. You get all the things when you're the baby. It's true.
I was never really great at video games, but I
Sure.
like the puzzly ones.
Yeah.
Those are
Agreed.
fun. Like,
Agreed.
did you ever play Myst?
No, but Matt has it.
Yeah.
My husband has, like, he has Myst. So my issue with, like, computer games is that they make me nauseous.
Yeah.
So I don't play a lot of computer games. But, again, I did like Duck Hunt. And I think that was the last time I played a lot
That's when you peaked.
That's when I peaked. I peaked with Duck Hunt. Yeah. So there we go.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna knit some socks.
Yeah.
Possibly. This comes back
No,
to
this is
maybe gonna knit socks.
clearly a sock.
This
and
is clearly a sock.
not
obviously.
a gnome hat.
No. But the stripes are very striping.
They are.
They
very
are working
striping.
out very nicely.
They are.
And I am very happy about how they are striping.
Very
and
good.
it is good. And I have not thought about this entirely too much. And definitely the white, so it's Carousel, so it's all a spiral. And you know what else spirals? Unicorn
Carousels?
horns.
Oh, right. Yes.
And you know what color unicorns are?
Whatever color I want them to be.
They are white. And then there's green for the forest that the unicorns live in.
Okay.
And then there's red for that character that I'm not going to say because Stephanie hasn't seen it. And then there is this blue and white, which is going to be the heels, toes, and cuffs because they're all like afterthought because, you know, there's no toe. But it's going to be this blue, which is blue and white, which will stand in for this thing that I'm not saying because Stephanie still hasn't seen it. But by the end of today, she will have seen all these things. So my Carousel socks are going to be my last unicorn socks. And she didn't actually know that that's what she was going to watch when she came over here today.
I did not.
But that is what's happening.
Okay.
Yup.
Well, I guess we better get to it then.
It's literally 87 minutes.
Well,
Because it's, you know,
hey.
a 90s cartoon.
Yeah.
It's a 90s feature-length cartoon. So Rankin Bass are the people who did The Hobbit as a cartoon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep. That's that design studio. But also, very, very few people know Flight of the Dragon, and that's okay. But if you're one of those people who knows Flight of the Dragon and knows what I'm talking about, hit me up in the comments, and we'll discuss Flight of the Dragon, because it's awesome.
I'm sure it
And
is.
definitely not people who are having, like, a delusional dream after getting hit on the head with, I think, a book, and then imagining they're inside a board game.
Is that the plot? Is
Part
this
of it,
like Jumanji, but different?
sort of,
Okay.
except it's real, and the character turns into a dragon.
Cool.
So it's like reverse Jumanji.
Okay.
The board game doesn't come out, he goes
Right.
into the board game.
Okay. Have you seen Jumanji 2?
No.
Okay.
Flight of the Dragon did it first. Probably
All right.
not.
Last Unicorn.
Last Unicorn. We're going to go watch Last Unicorn.
Guess so. All right. Let's go
And
do
I will
it.
work on my Last Unicorn socks.
Wow.
It's Stephanie. What you got?
I finished the blanket.
Yay!
Ta-da!
The blanket is done.
Yep, there's a little yarn ends peeking out here and there. I'm gonna have to tuck those in or clip them off, but it is done.
It is done.
It is
and
done.
It's all stripey.
It
and
is.
Cute.
It is. I really like it. I really
It's
like how
really
it came
cute.
out. This was a great idea. Thank you.
Yay.
So, yeah. Yay, it's done.
Hooray.
Yep, just in time for baby meatball.
Just in time for baby meatball.
Mhm.
All right. Cool.
And we got to watch The Last Unicorn.
We watched The Last Unicorn,
We did.
which we found out came out in 1982, which is extremely evident throughout. It is very much a product of its time. It's also one of those movies that you watch and you're like, oh my gosh, I love this movie as a kid. And like me, having grown up with it, I have all those nostalgia feelings. So Stephanie, how does it hit when you do not have nostalgia backing it up?
I think I asked myself the question out loud a time or two of why is this a musical? Like it just it could have been about 8 minutes shorter.
Yeah, that's fair.
Without the
Without the
singing.
music,
Like the characters singing. Like there's background music and that's fine. It was
Sure.
good. It was lovely. It's nice. It's very 80s. It's adorable.
It's very 80s. It's a kids movie.
Yeah,
it's a kids
movie.
Very much a fantasy.
Yeah, it is.
You know,
it is. It's nice though. Like it's got like its own little lore and everything. It's good. It's fine.
There you go.
Yeah.
Also, this is what is happening with the Carousel sock.
Yes.
So yeah, definitely getting some stripes happening, and for now, it's very checkerboard.
Yeah, that's really cool.
We'll see if that continues. But yeah, that's what's up.
Nice.
So there we go.
There you go.
We watched an 80s movie, started a sock, finished a blanket. Finished!
I finished.
Yay! We finished! A thing! Hooray! So, let us know what you're working on for summer sock camp, if you have any particular patterns.
Or summer, whatever you feel like. Or
summer,
if
whatever
you're in
you
the
feel
southern
like.
hemisphere, winter, whatever you feel like.
Winter, whatever you feel like. Or if you have any good reminiscences about 80s, 90s shows, movies. Yeah, let us know. Thanks for joining us. Have a good day, rest of your month, whatever.
Week.
Thank you for joining us.
Have a good time.
And one of these days we'll figure out how to actually
do this
and have good outros and stuff. Cool.
Awesome.
Bye, everybody.